Hey guys, I'm Natasha Tessier. I'm the owner of Dwell Realty and Design here in Houston. I love everything to do with the city of Houston. I was born and raised here. Would love to help you with your move across the country. Please hit the subscribe button below. Today, I wanted to go over the top nine suburbs in the city of Houston. Hi there, I'm Natasha Tessier. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to my channel. I was born and raised here. I am a solo agent, so when you work just with me unless I need to refer it out to somebody in my line who lives an hour and a half away. Let's just say you want to buy down in Friendswood, I'd probably refer you to my agent Katy down there. But when you call the cell phone, you're going to talk to me. A lot of these people that are YouTubing Houston aren't from here, and so they're giving some misinformation, and they have teams. So you call and you get, it goes through and you get assigned to one person and the next person, and it kind of is on a round robin. Here, if you call that cell phone, you're gonna hear me and talk with me. I'd love to help you with your move. Today, I wanted to talk to you about the top 9 suburbs. Now, this is my opinion. Some agents might disagree with me. I kind of tried to rank them in order. There's a lot of great places to live, but this is just my opinion. As you're looking at a map, the innermost loop is the 610 loop. So that is the inside of Houston. That is downtown. You're gonna be right next to the Galleria, River Oaks. When you go to a baseball game or any of those things, you're gonna be right down in the loop at the Astros or whatever. The next ring around Houston is called Beltway 8. And everything I talk about today is gonna be on the outside of Beltway 8 if you're looking at the map, all the suburbs. So Beltway 8 was created, I think, kind of when I was in high school. And then now we've got the 99 loop. So 99 kind of connected all the outside suburbs together, which was great. So you can get from Kingwood to Katy or Woodlands to Katy in no time. Whereas before we had to drive into the city and come back out, like into the Beltway 8, loop around and come back out, or we had to take back roads. So anyway, great infrastructure now. And so I wanted to go through my top 9, starting with number 9 down to number 1. And my first one is gonna be Galveston. Galveston is a 26-mile long island. It's a barrier island. It is a lot of fun. A lot of my clients have helped get Airbnbs down there. They're very, very successful. They have 6 million visitors over the summer there. So that's huge if you have 6 million people going to visit. The public schools aren't great, but they have private schools on the island. There's tons to do. There's tons of restaurants, Moody Garden, lots of fun things to do down in Galveston. And Kemah is on the way down to Galveston. That's also really fun. And great bay fishing. People love, and offshore to go fishing down there. So that's number 9, I should say, is Galveston. Number 8, I'm gonna do Fulshire, Rosenberg, Richmond. That's just outside of like Katy, Sugarland area. My sister lives in Fulshire. Used to be, 5 years ago, a very small town with lots of land. It's growing at a rapid rate. Her oldest used to have like 400 in their class, and now the freshman has like 750 in the class. So it has grown very, very quickly. Right near the Brazos River, and a little bit smaller school district in that there's only like 1 or 2, 3 high schools in each like Richmond, Rosenberg area. Kind of rural. If you want to kind of be out a little bit more and have land, that's where I would go. Of course, you can come out this way to Montgomery too, but if you're going on the west side and kind of had to work over in that area, then that kind of, and you wanted to be on space, I would kind of go to the Fulshire, Richmond, Rosenberg area. Okay, then number 7 is going to be Friendswood. Friendswood has always been known to have good schools. They do deal with a little more flooding and are impacted obviously by hurricanes. Obviously Galveston is impacted by hurricanes. You're not going to have a storm surge as far in as Friendswood, but you could have flooding because of that. So that's something that you want to consider. But it's 30 minutes to downtown, 30 minutes from the coast. So again, if you're working on that side of town or you want to be in Galveston quite a bit visiting, you need a short commute to town, Friendswood would be a really good option. So that's 9, 8, 7. 6 is going to be Cypress. So Cypress is a great community. It is huge. It has, I believe, 12 high schools. It's ranked the number 2 school district in Harris County. So not the number 2 school, but school as a whole, the whole district. It is a huge school district. They have a huge football stadium. Football is very, very big there. Some of their teams almost always make a run at the playoffs, and lots of master plan communities that are created by Howard Hughes, who also designed the Woodlands. There is Bridgeland, which is a great master plan community, has parks, amphitheaters, walking trails, splash pads, everything you could ever imagine, with the schools like Bridgeland High School and the elementary and the churches all in the community. Very cool. The other very cool community over there is going to be Town Lake. It's on the water. So you have all these restaurants on the water. People take their boat. You can ski, do all that stuff. Very cool master plan communities. And it's probably one of the closer ones into the city. So when you get out to like where I am in Montgomery, even Magnolia, it's pretty far. So if you need to be in downtown Houston, you might want to be in Cypress. It is in Harris County, whereas some of these others are in Montgomery County. Okay, then I'm going to move number 5 out to Conroe, Texas. Conroe is a great growing community. It's right north of north of the Woodlands on I-45. It is right by the lake, has a really charming downtown. Growing like crazy. You've got Grand Central was a master plan community, a lot of older established neighborhoods. It does have all the beautiful trees out there. Some of their schools are not rated as high, so I would definitely look at that if you're wanting to do public schools. There is a great Christian school over on that side of town, but a lot of people moving to Conroe. It's more affordable and you're 10 minutes from the Woodlands. So that's a pretty cool spot to live in. Okay, so then we're gonna go down to Katy, Texas. Okay, Katy is old cornfield. So you don't have the tall trees, the pine trees that you have in like Tomball, Magnolia, Woodlands, Conroe, Montgomery area, but they've planted a lot of trees and it is a great community. It is actually ranked one of the top school districts in the entire city. There are a ton of high schools. They're all 6A. So that means you could have, 1,000 kids or more per class. So 4,000 in a grade or 4,000 in a school or 3,500 in a school. Very, very big schools, but they're very highly ranked as a very highly rated school district. They do have Old Town Katy, which is really cool. They also are very into their football and volleyball. Lots of success over there with sports teams. Straight shot into Houston on I-10. Great place to live. I taught out there in Katy long time ago. I was a volleyball, basketball, and track coach, PE teacher, and love the community. Really great community. Okay, the next one is going to be the Woodlands. The reason that I like Katy over the Woodlands is you have new construction and you have master plan communities like Cane Island and several great ones out there. Whereas in the Woodlands, it's a lot older and more established, but you don't have as many master plan communities because the homes and you don't have any new construction. It's pretty much built out. Now on the outskirts, there's a little bit, but not much. So moving on to the Woodlands, you definitely have more trees in the Woodlands. It's pine forest, there's pines everywhere. It's all developed by the same developer. So Katy was a bunch of different developers, whereas the Woodlands is a little bit more cohesive because it's got the same developer. You definitely have higher end shopping, higher end restaurants. Of all the suburbs that I'm talking about, the Woodlands has the highest end. You have the Woodlands Waterway where there's a ton of restaurants and shops. You have Market Street, again, a ton of restaurants and shops. That's where you're gonna have your Gucci store and different high-end shops as well as great restaurants. So all highly rated schools as well, especially the Woodlands High School and the Woodlands College Park. Now they are big. So they have a freshman campus for the Woodlands. It has, I think, 1,100 kids in it. So you're talking over 4,000 in the Woodlands High School. So they are big, but they are all very highly rated. So definitely something to look at, probably upper middle class to upper class. You also have that's in Montgomery County, the Woodlands, and you have the amphitheater. They have concerts there all the time. My son just went to a concert there the other night on the lawn. It's very cool. So lots to do in the Woodlands. They always have music in the park and different things going on. It's a very active kind of community. Has the beautiful mall, has Nordstrom. It really has everything you'd ever need in the Woodlands, but the homes are older. So when I say older, 90s, early 2000s. So you don't have any, Cane Islands with kind of the brand new homes. You do have in the Woodlands, it's a township, and you do, if you're in the township, have access to all their pools and everything, but not new construction. Okay, the next one I'm gonna talk about is Tomball and Magnolia. I kind of grouped those two together. They both have two high schools. Tomball has Tomball and Tomball Memorial. Magnolia has Magnolia and Magnolia West. All kind of about the same. I think the Magnolia high schools are just a tad smaller, so they're big 5A, Tomball's 6A. So you probably have like 2,200 in the Magnolia schools, and I would say 2,800 to 3,000 in the Tomball schools. Those are obviously guesses, like estimates, because it changes all the time. But very, very similar town. Tomball is, I would say, a little bit more charming. They have an actual downtown Main Street, and they always have the German festival there. They have two new breweries that are great. Paradigm and Fire Ant are great breweries. They have a cute flower shop, a plant shop, antique stores. They bring in a lot of live country music down there. The rodeo does their trail ride through downtown Tomball. Very, very charming little town in downtown Tomball. They have a Christmas parade where they shut down the main street and do a several hour-long parade. So very charming little town. Magnolia doesn't have quite a downtown. If you're on the Magnolia west side, there's not much over there, although it's being developed because 249 is going out to College Station. So it's coming that way. I think they're getting a Costco in a few years, but right now it's a little bit more rural. And then New Magnolia is kind of your 1488 area where you do have some nicer shops, you know, your Target, your H-E-B, those kind of things, but nothing high end like the Woodlands. My last one is going to be Montgomery. Of course, I chose this. This is where I live. I absolutely love it. If I could live anywhere in the city of Houston, I would still choose Montgomery. Lots of reasons. First is it's beautiful. So it's where the rolling hills kind of start. So it's not so flat and it's very heavily treed and it's on the lake. So beauty-wise, I don't think you can beat it in the city. It's a lot prettier than other areas. There are two high schools here in Montgomery. There's Montgomery, the original one, and Lake Creek is 4 years old now. And I know you've heard me talk a lot about those two, both highly rated. My kids are they were elementary, junior high, high school this year, just junior high and high school. And I'm telling you, they're all very highly rated. I'm very, very impressed personally with the school system. They've been pretty hands off as far as when the masks and all the vaccines and all that, they've kind of told us they're not going to teach critical race theory. So in Montgomery is where the Texas flag was born and is probably the most conservative area of all the ones that I've talked about. So it just depends on what you like and what you're looking for. Small town feel, it does have a downtown. It has a farmer's market every Saturday. There's the Hodgepodge Lodge, which is an old 200-year-old house with a restaurant and bed and breakfast in there. There's the Cozy Grape. They have the Montgomery County Wine Festival there. Montgomery County Fair is huge, like very kind of small town feel on the lake. So a lot of communities like Walden, April Sound, Bettwater, all that in Montgomery are all lakefront communities. So you can be on the lake. We have a boat membership. We go on the boat a lot. Margaritaville is right here. So kind of good staycation, all that kind of good stuff. And you're just 10 minutes south from the Sam Houston National Forest. So that's really cool too. So they have ATV, hiking, horse trails, all that kind of stuff up there. So, and also at Montgomery, you have pine trees, but you also start getting into the hardwoods. So the trees I think are prettier and it's hillier and all that good stuff. So that was a lot to talk about. I would love to help you. If you have questions, please, my cell phone is below. You can text or call me. If you are looking, but not now or whenever your timeline is, please fill out my form below. It goes into my spreadsheet and then I can keep track of who you are, what you're looking for, how often we need to stay in touch. Are you coming out next week? Are you coming out, in the spring? All that good stuff. So I would love to help you. Reach out anytime and I hope you have a blessed day.